So we're here for today's breakfast bite once again, and I'm very pleased to welcome Cara Macdonald from the Evangelical Alliance. Hi, Cara.
Hi, Nathan. Great to speak to you again.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's just sitting in my kitchen at the moment, just looking at a little vase of daffodils up there. So they always kind of bring me a little bit of joy, cheer me up, and yeah, a little bit of hint of spring is on the way.
That is a good hint of spring. I've seen a few snowdrops around,
Yeah,
just sort of poking through the frost
yeah.
a few mornings.
They're trying.
They're trying, they're getting
they're,
there.
try- they're trying to get there. So yep. Brighter days ahead.
Yes, very true. Well, what have you got for us for today's breakfast bite then?
Well, I have been thinking, this is something I kind of it comes to my mind quite a lot, and I just sometimes think I'm in the wrong place. Am I where I want to be? Um, there's lots of things I might have wanted to do with my life, and they're not really happening. And I just have the sense, am I in the right place? Am I where I want to be? And that's the kind of thing I'll be looking at here is it's all about where I want to be, but where does God want us? Can there ever be such a thing as us being in the wrong place? So I'm going to start in Psalm 37. And I actually just read from the King James Version. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Psalm 37:23. And yes, as I've said, I spend a lot of time pondering whether I'm in the right place. This sense is not only geographical, but it relates to my job, my parenting, my health, my relationships with others. Am I where I thought, hoped, dreamed, prayed I might be at this point of my life? And sometimes when I think about these things, the answers to these questions can be tinged with disappointment as I consider things that might have been, or I consider what could be. Where do I want to be? And moreover, how do I get where I truly believe I should be? And often this questioning is driven by looking around at others, comparing myself unfavourably to peers, to friends, to other mothers, thinking, oh, if only my life could be a little bit more like theirs, if only I could move, be promoted, be more confident, be more this, a little bit less of that. And the list is endless with these things. And it comes down to two little words: if only. Looking back, sometimes with regret about things that have happened or the way I've dealt with things, and looking forward sometimes with envy because I'm just looking round at other people thinking, oh, I wish I could be doing that. And this sometimes it's like a mental ping pong between the past and the present and the future, where I'm asking God in prayer to bridge the gap between my reality and my aspiration. If God has a plan for me, then why do things not seem to be improving? Why do I seem to be the person standing still and I perceive that everybody else around me is moving forwards? And as Christians, well, our faith helps us to answer these questions and it brings a real sense of peace and a little bit of stillness to these whirring of thoughts, which for me sometimes seem to be relentless. Proverbs 16:9 tells us, in his heart, a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. And I think we've all got hopes, we've all got dreams, a path that maybe we plan to follow to help us get there. But it's God who controls the journey and it's God who controls the destination. He directs every one of our moves and he's got a way of getting us to the right place at the right time. And often the timing's just different from the way that we imagined things. And in the stages of life where God does things differently than we would, then we have to trust him. He knows every hair in our head, every aspect of our heart, and he loves us so truly and deeply that his plan for us is a good one. So if you find yourself like me in a season of restlessness and discontent, just know that God hasn't misplaced you. Whether we're making coffees when we want to be making speeches, or living in Glasgow, but dreaming of living in the southeast of England or the southeast of Asia, Colossians 3:23-24 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you all know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ that you are serving. So if we're discontented with our situation, if we're uninspired about the places and spaces we find ourselves in, and anxious about our position relative to others, then we're rejecting the authority that God has over us. Making our lives about ourselves and not about God means we're just really out there on our own. If we are loving and glorifying Him wherever we are, then we're exactly where we should be. God knows everything and we don't. We see the world from a much more limited perspective, but He sees it all. God's timing is perfect. He knows when you're going to land your dream job, when you're going to find your soulmate, and He keeps His promises to you no matter how long those take. Everything He does is deliberate and intentional. He knows what He's doing, and if He's making you wait, He knows why He's making you wait. So if you're in a season of waiting, it's for your good and it's for His glory. Even if, like me, you think your timing is better, you just have to be assured that God's ways are best. So today, I encourage everybody just to rest in the truth that you are exactly where God wants you to be.
Well, thank you so much, Cara. It's a good thought for us, and I think each one of us is plagued by that question sometimes. If only, if
Yeah,
only this, if only that, if only I had done this, or if only I could do that. And for a lot of us, I think that can cause quite a lot of insecurity, quite a lot of fear, like you say. But
absolutely.
yeah, there's a great deal of confidence, a lot of peace in knowing that actually God does have a plan. And while our timing might seem better to us, our schedule might seem a lot more organized than God's. He can see a lot more
Absolutely.
than us.
Yeah, because he sees everything that we don't see. You know,
Mm,
he sees the big picture. He hears the conversations that we don't. He knows what's coming and we don't. And we don't have to know because he does. And all we have to do is trust and lean into that. However difficult, and it's not to say that it's not difficult and painful. There are so many longings that we all have, and it can be so difficult to understand why God doesn't do something? Why doesn't God change something?
mm.
But yeah, he knows. He knows you nothing is an accident, nothing is a mistake. Where you are right now is all part of a bigger plan for your life that God has. And it's the right place at the right time for you. And so that's been a massive challenge to me in my life to think about that because I'm constantly looking too far ahead sometimes about things and having that kind of itchiness to do something different, to change something. But
Mm.
I think it can be quite exhausting. And I would just encourage people to find peace in the fact that just being where you are and leaning into God's love and His promises um, will get you where you need and where you should be in the end.
Very true. I mean, God does see things that we don't see, and oftentimes, I don't know about you, but when you tend to look back, you then realize, that makes sense now.
Exactly. There's so many, at the time, there's so many doors that have closed for me. And at the time, I thought, well, just why? Why? And then it's only with the benefit of, looking back, you think, thank goodness.
Mm.
Thank goodness that door closed because something better was out there, or it transpired it wouldn't have been right for me. So, it's obvious that, God has a plan and that He is correct. But in the actual time and space that you're in, that can be really difficult to deal with and to understand with. So yeah, we've just sometimes got to just take the bigger view.
Yeah, and it takes a bit of faith to just hold on, a bit of patience to hold on in that situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Cara. Great to hear from you again. Hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Nathan. Great to speak to you. Take care. See you soon.